What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Good, I hope. Okay, so check this out. For the first time ever, I'm bringing you the filming locations to the movie Gone in 60 Seconds, the 2000 remake with Nicolas Cage, Angelina Jolie, Giovanni Ribisi, Robert Duvall, and a ton of other huge names in this movie. Now, I might not be able to hit every single location, but I'm gonna hit as many as I possibly can with this video. So you better strap up, get ready for one hell of a ride, because it's gonna get fun. Let's see if we can find some of these locations. I thought it was only right to start at the beginning of the movie right here on Wilshire and Weatherly, but check this out. This is the Porsche dealership from the beginning of the movie. Now there's a little bit of movie magic with this location. So during the scene, the guys are driving down this road and they sort of park right about here where that white line is. Kip and Mir get out. Kip's like, gotta get my tool. Mir's like, man, that ain't a tool, that's a damn brick. We might as well call prison and make reservations. And here's where things get really interesting. So there's a shot, an incoming shot of the dealership, and the Porsche is right there in the center. If you can kind of see that car where that's at, that's where the Porsche was. So Kip walks over across the street, throws the brick into the window, and he asks for the number. It's 42850. Yeah, after all these years, I still remember the number. So they both get in the Porsche. Kip backs up. He goes, man, this ain't the Dukes of Hazzard. And also, here's a little bit of movie magic. So when the guys are rolling in, the Porsche is right there, right? So when they peel out inside the building, they actually come out of that window right there where that car's at. One surefire way you know this is the exact location, you can still match up these trees right here. Also, when the dude is sitting in the car trying to get the car started while they're taking off in the Porsche, they bust through the window and very quickly you can see the tiles right here on the side of this building. So all of this still matches up right here at this location. So they break through the window, dude takes off that way, and they both take off going down this way. And also, you can still see very briefly the music hall right there in the background. So, in actuality, this technically is right. But this is the very first location of the movie that we are introduced to a few of the characters. Right over there is where Kip and crew would have parked their car, would have come walking across the street here and busted right through this door here. And they have redone the inside, but right there is where the Porsche was. And then right over there is where the keys were for the car. While they're freaking out trying to get the car, dude's over there in the car trying not to freak out. And then it cuts to the car right here. This is the exact window that the car busted out of. And there's a shot of dude right across the street. As you can still see that tile right there in the background. How cool is this location? I'm actually really glad that I found this. I just ran into two guys that were walking down the street, and he asked me if I'm a Lucid fan. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I explained to him what movie was filmed here. And the other guy got it that he was with. And I had to explain the scene over. And by the time I told him the scenes that were filmed here, he was like, oh man, super fan, huh? It's like, Yeah, I guess so. I always like informing people of stuff that they don't know where things were filmed at. Okay, so here I am in the Wilmington area, currently on Pier A Street, and the warehouse that you see behind me is the warehouse that Kip and his crew come to after stealing the Porsche, and it ends up getting raided by the cops. Now, it might look a little bit different from where I'm standing. That's because the shots that they used were actually on the opposite side of the warehouse here. There's an aerial shot where they come in and you see the cops storming the warehouse here. But I am, in fact, in the correct spot. That is the actual warehouse that they used in the film. And it sucks that you can't get in. I mean, obviously, it's down here in the harbor. But this is, in fact, the actual warehouse. So cool to see this in person. Now, I'm sure over time they've, remodeled it and done stuff like that. But I was able to match this shot up online because you can see the front of the building very, very quickly when the cops are showing up to storm the warehouse. This is pretty cool. On the right side of the building, where it's kind of higher than the rest, where all the windows are, just on the other side of that is where the establishing shot of the warehouse is, that you can see from the aerial point of view. And just on the other side of this warehouse is where Kip and his crew would have stored all of the cars that they had. That entire scene was shot there, where they had the list of cars. Crazy to be here. Control, vision, determination. These are the three fundamental components of the new generation race car driver. Speed is a byproduct, going fast. But remember, the car is you. You are the car. Let's ride. Gonna get an up close and personal look at the building where Memphis worked. Used to be a gas station at one point. Now it's a garage, but I think it's closed. I'm not sure. But right over here in this little parking lot is where we meet the character Memphis. How cool is this? We start off with a shot of the mountains way off in the distance there, but it's a over the building shot of the building here. And right back there behind the fence is where they would have had the go-kart track, probably somewhere on this side of the fence as well. It was a pretty big track. So Memphis is helping the kids out along, and Tommy has a little bit of a mishap, and he says, I don't know what that was, but that sure wasn't driving. He helps him get back on track. When Memphis is helping the kids out, there's a black car that pulls into the parking lot here, and there's a shot sort of like this without me getting too close to the road. The garage doors are still the same, and the office is still in the same spot as well. They've kind of changed the roof here a little bit, but it definitely used to be some sort of gas station. Now it's just a body shop. But after the black car rolls in, we're introduced to the character Atlee Jackson. I'm pretty sure that's his last name. But inside here is where they filmed the scenes of Memphis and him talking about Kip. And Kip went on a boost. He took a boost, a big boost. What's Kip doing on a boost? So yeah, this is the actual location of the go-kart track where Memphis works. It sucks that I can only really line one shot up, but this is for sure the right area. So I normally don't ask for much, right? But that being said, I did come up with the idea of being the first to do Gone in 60 Seconds locations here for my YouTube channel. And also, I did fly from Columbus to Vegas, and then from Vegas to So not only that, but I woke up this morning and I drove all the way from LA 3.5 hours north to Independence to get this one location of the go-kart scene. I would seriously appreciate it if you guys gave me a like just for doing that. That is crazy. I know there's dedication, but I didn't want to do the filming locations and not show this location. It's pretty important. It's where we're introduced to the character Memphis and Atlee. So you guys are very welcome. I'm gonna head back to LA now and we will do more locations out there. Let's go. So for this next location, I'm gonna be rather quick about it because this is actually somebody's house, but this is Kips House from the movie. After Memphis saves Kip, they come back to the house and Kip makes him a very strange breakfast. And then later on in the movie, Memphis and Kip both talk on the porch right there. So the scenes were in fact filmed right here in this location. All right, so here I am downtown Los Angeles, and across the street from there, just next to the tree and to the right of the music venue there, used to be the location of the Quality Cafe, which is where Memphis's mom used to work. It has changed over the years, but this is the exact location because you can find photos online of what the Quality Cafe used to look like, but they did in fact actually film inside there before they changed it. This location here was kind of tricky because not only was I trying to find a place to park because of construction, but the place that I was looking for was actually torn down. So the building that you see in front of you was recently built, and it is the former location of the gang's hideout because there is a aerial shot that you can see, and the 4th Street Bridge is behind it. So lots of construction that's happened since the filming of the movie, but this is the exact location. When Kip and Memphis are on the run from Johnny B and his gang, they come here to Jim's Burgers. Johnny B and his gang roll up right here, almost hitting Kip and Memphis. And they sort of walk over here to the door, and there's a shot sort of just like this, you can see, of Kip and Memphis walking through the door. And they sit down right about here. But right here, where I'm parked at, sort of in this area, is where Johnny B and his gang parked their car. Now see, it's a car and a truck wash, and they had semis parked back behind here. And one of my favorite scenes in this movie is right here in this window, when Memphis does that cool speech. He's like, "Look, cop car. Uh-huh. Long as I'm in here, you're just gonna sit out there, aren't you? Johnny B is definitely pissed off about this. Then he turns to Kip, he's like, "All right, look, this is what we're gonna do." So as Johnny B and his gang are sitting there in the car, Memphis goes up to one of the truck drivers. He's talking about going to truck driver school and whatnot. At the same time, Kip comes sneaking out of this door through the parking lot, and he hooks up Johnny B's car to one of the semi trucks. And Johnny B isn't too happy about that. So then Memphis holds up a cup of coffee. He like toasts to Johnny B, and Johnny B's like, "I'm gonna smoke you." Semi goes to take off, and then Johnny B have a rude awakening. So try to get the shot. Right about here is where Johnny B and his car gets mangled from the wire that was hooked onto the semi truck. So that happens, and the cops were sitting in one of those windows right there. and they all come running out because they see what happened. And the cops are like, you guys got permits for these weapons? At the same time, Memphis is holding a cup of coffee, and he turns over to Kip, and he's like, you want some of this? Oh, it's so cool being in this location. This is definitely one of my favorite spots. And for this next location, I'm in Little Tokyo on 1st Street and Central Ave, and where we want to go is right over there. So gonna wait for the signal to change and we'll walk across. This location's kind of a bust. I have a giant truck messing up the view, but I'll try and break it down for you. So this is the location of the street that Donnie is teaching the girl to drive. And they come down this road here, and you can kind of still see the wall in the background just beyond that white awning. It's still kind of like squared off in a way. But he tells her to pull over, and they stop right about here in this area. And he's like, takes the keys from her, and he's like, you can't negotiate turns, you can't signal properly, you can't maintain speed, you can't parallel park, hell, you can't drive, honey. And you know what I do? I can't swim, so I stay my ass out the pool. And she starts crying, and during that shot, you can kind of see this little store over here on the corner. A very quick shot called Ginza Ginza. And as she's crying, he gets a call from Memphis, and he talks to Memphis for a couple seconds, and he's like, yeah, I'm in. And then Donnie tells the girl to just be careful and take it around the block a couple times. She smiles and goes to pull off, gets in the wreck, and then Donnie gets out. When he gets out, he goes into this right here, Sushi Enya. So this would have portrayed as the building that he went into, because you can see the windows are still the same. The door has been changed since then. They've kind of redone this. It's newer wood since then, but you can see that the giant window here, and then the corner of the window right there as he's walking in. So yeah, I've been standing here trying to match up some shots, but unfortunately I won't be able to because giant truck right here is obstructing my view. That one just pulled in, but I'll walk over here so you can get a better view of this location. See if I can, I can walk across the street. Let's go. Here we go. Yeah, so right here is the little store that you can see in the background. And the alleyway has been redone. It's a cool looking building back there. But yeah, so we was just right over there across the street. That's where she gets in the wreck at. But this is pretty cool. So yeah, this is the location of Donnie teaching the girl to drive. How cool is this? All right, so here I am on the corner of Wilshire and Fairfax. Just across the street from me is the Johnies Coffee shop. Well, before they closed it down. This is across from the Peterson Automotive Museum and the Academy of Motion Pictures Museum as well. But this is the location where Memphis and Sway both steal a car that is sitting right outside, parked outside next to the sidewalk there. All right, so for this next spot, unfortunately, it is closed off. And this is the location where Mirror is faking being a valet guy. This is at the Yamashiro And when the old guy gets out of the car with the girl, he hands Mirror like what, like 50 cents. He goes, get yourself something nice, and Mirror tells him to keep it, buy him another jacket. It was filmed on the other side of this building. It sucks that it's closed, but this is the exact location. So actually I just kind of walked around the other side of the building, and you can kind of see the front of it right up there. Fortunately, I'm not going to be able to match up any shots, but I'll see how close I can get. It's definitely the right spot. Kind of overlooks Hollywood here. I'm not sure where they would have picked up the car at, but right up there is the front of the building. So somewhere down in this vicinity, or maybe over there, oh, there's a little black kitty. Reminds me of my cat. Somewhere over there is where Mirror would have parked. Oh, there's another kitty. For this location, I had to be rather quick, but I'm at the Omni Hotel, and this is the scene where one of Kip's dudes is walking through the lobby, and Kip is waiting for him by a limo, and he says, "Hey, open the door." Right here, I have a pretty good shot of the Vincent Thomas Bridge. This is the exact bridge that Memphis jumps over all the people with Eleanor. Can't get the exact shots, but I figured I would still show the bridge since I'm right here in the area. This is so cool. And we're actually going to take a drive on the bridge, and I'll show you exactly where they filmed it at. I told you I had a surprise for y'all. I'm inside the Peterson Automotive Museum on the second floor, and look what they have on display. Eleanor herself, with her sexy ass. Oh, it's so beautiful. There's a little box down here that, let's see, 67 Ford Mustang, Eleanor, driven and gone in 60 seconds. All right, so Ford introduced the Mustang in 1964 with a glamorous yet high performance design that would make it an icon of American culture. The Mustang, nicknamed Eleanor, debuted in the 1974 film Gone in 60 Seconds, cast as an elusive last vehicle needed to complete a multi-car heist. Driven by the thief Memphis Reign's Nicolas Cage in 2000 remake, this iteration of Eleanor was designed by Chip Foose and Steve Stanford to look like a Shelby GT 500. The Mustang Fastback was given fender flares, new fascia, if I'm pronouncing that right, headlight bezels, and side exhausts, among other modifications. So right here is a photo of the car. Foos and Stanford styled Eleanor with an aggressive high-performance design which helped to underscore the action of the film's exciting chase sequences. There's a lot of history in this car by itself. I'm not entirely sure how many they actually used for the filming. I know there's always like stunt cars and cars that are on MIG rigs, yeah. But I believe Nicolas Cage actually did drive this one, so that's cool. So yeah, I figured by the end of the filming locations, I would show you guys the actual car that was in the actual movie, that was at some of the filming locations that I had just showed you. So tell me that's not a good finale for a filming location video, to have the actual car in the video. Sick, right?